I'm here to honor my Uncle Stanley Wiesen, my Aunt Lorraine Wiesen, and the naming of the fitness center.
His commitment started, our Uncle Stan, in 1949. When he joined the JCC and became involved as a volunteer, he quickly rose as a leader chairing the athletics committee, and in 1957, he joined the board of directors, where he remained a member for the rest of his life, 56 years. We are all very grateful to Stanley Wiesen and Lorraine Wiesen as well.
They were married for 57 years. When we look around this beautiful fitness center today, we think about all the programs we offer to all ages, and we really can thank Stanley for the many parts he played in the building of the JCC. So with that, I'd like to invite my favorite cousin, Debbie Wiesen, Stanley and Lorraine's daughter, to say a few words.
Thanks to the extraordinary generosity of Jeffrey Hoffman and Bradley Hoffman, the Wiesen name lives on forever.
Welcome, everyone. When was the last time you think this many people were in this room together? 2.5 years ago, probably. It's good. It's really, really good. It's wonderful, so wonderful to be together. It is the 107th annual meeting of the JCC. It's my pleasure to be your Master of Ceremonies tonight. And tonight's annual meeting is all about dedication. Honoring the dedication of our amazing donors, members, and staff. This is a moment to say thank you. And this is a moment for the Mandell JCC to affirm its dedication to all of you, our members and the broader community. The pandemic came, oh yeah, it came, but the JCC never left. With the most dedicated staff and amazingly dedicated board of directors, who from the moment the pandemic began rallied, strategized, and responded. The community has always known that it can count on the Mandell JCC. And over the past 2 years, we have validated that time and time again. Addressing the needs now and in the future for our community, the Jewish Federation and the Jewish Community Foundation are among our most dedicated of partners. Our lay and professional leadership work closely together in responding to the immediate concerns of today and planning for our community of tomorrow. Their impact has been especially significant over the past 2+ years of the pandemic. They were strategic, effective, generous in their partnership and support for our community. So to bring greetings this evening are Gail Temkin and Jacob Schreiber, Board Chair and President of the Foundation.
So we are here tonight not only as representatives of the Jewish Community Foundation, but also as huge fans of the Mandell JCC. My two girls, Alyssa and Lily, grew up, and the Mandell JCC has been an integral part in their upbringing. They started in the early childhood program. They summered at the JCC Swim and Tennis Club. They performed in numerous shows on the JCC stage. The JCC helped teach them how to swim and dance, and through it all, helped teach them how to be leaders. Today, I'm proud to say that next week, Lily will be a CIT, counselor in training at theater camp, and tonight, Alyssa will begin her second term as team representative on the JCC Board of Trustees. I'm honored to have served as president of the Mandell JCC for 2 years and then chair of the board for an additional 2 years. During this time, I learned so much more about the impact the JCC has on people of all ages, stages, and backgrounds. Standing here as chair of the board of the Jewish Community Foundation, I am not surprised that the Mandell JCC was one of the first institutions to join our Life and Legacy program and achieve its first year goal of 18 life commitments. The JCC brings meaning and joy to so many people each and every day, and the gratitude they have to the JCC for enriching their lives is enormous.
Well, Gail, you are so right. I mean, who wouldn't want to contribute to the Mandell JCC to ensure people will experience the joy and connectedness that comes from this special place? The Jewish Community Foundation realizes the power of the Mandell JCC, and that's why we asked David to host our Mosaic Arts tiling project in the Chase Gallery in April. We knew that most Jewish pedestrian life and traffic in Greater Hartford goes through the Mandell JCC because there is just so much to do. And we were right. In 1 week, we thought maybe a couple of hundred people would come, but 950 people participated in tiling our 40,000-piece mosaic, which celebrates the Foundation's 50th anniversary. The mosaic is a gift to our community, created by our community. So now when you walk into the entrance, take a look at your left, you'll see a mosaic that graces the Mandell JCC, where it will be exhibited forever.
It's my pleasure to bring up Lori Mandell from the Jewish Federation.
I'm not David Warren, and I'm not Dana Keller, and I'm not even related to Andy Mandell. But I grew up in this JCC. So on behalf of the Jewish Federation of Greater Hartford, we are so proud to support this institution and give the dollars that all of us raise to support the programs and everything that happens in this building. So thank you on behalf of the Jewish Federation.
So every year at this meeting, we take great pleasure in honoring our employees who are celebrating special anniversaries here at the JCC. They are truly the most valuable part of this agency, and we have learned during the pandemic just how much all of the members appreciate the contributions they make to our JCC.
I'd like to present this 5-year award to my teacher in Glastonbury, Wendy Ment. Come on up.
And I would like to thank Beth Crank for 10 years of service in the babysitting room. She is there daily and puts her heart and soul into it. Thank you on her behalf.
And for the ECC in West Hartford, we have a 5-year award for Ann Monsiglio. Also a 5-year award for Sarah Thompson. And our very talented, professional, and dedicated ECC Assistant Director, Andrea Rosenfield-Short, for 10 years. And we have Susie Cleaver for 25 years. From the twos to TK and everything in between, Susie Cleaver has been a staple in the ECC for 25 years. Susie is a team player who exudes positivity. She is able to enter any classroom and easily determines how she can best support the children and teachers. Her warmth, compassion, and love for children is evident every day. Susie has developed lifelong friendships with colleagues and families. We thank her for all she continues to contribute to the ECC. Unfortunately, Susie is not able to be here tonight, but we offer her congratulations on this accomplishment. And When you think of the Early Childhood Center's toddler program, you can't help but think of Robin Ober. Robin has been a respected member of the ECC for 25 years. Over the years, she has directly cared for over 200 children and impacted them and their families in profound ways. Robin is passionate about the success of our school and is always willing to share new and creative ideas with her coworkers. Her humor, strong friendships with her teammates, and love for the ECC shines through in all she does. We are so appreciative of her deep connection with our youngest learners and for all her contributions to the ECC family over the last 25 years. Congratulations on this milestone, Robin.
We are going to recognize our first ever security director at the JCC. We've never had a security director before, and 5 years ago, you all were kind enough to our board to support us adding this position, this much-needed position. And in 5 years, what this guy has done is truly amazing. So Jim, thank you for 5 great years.
For 10 years at the JCC, I am pleased to recognize Dee Chappell. Dee came in so many different capacities, but most recently she's been the director of our preschool in Glastonbury and has seen it grow, and we are just very grateful. Where's Dee?
Also for 10 years, Jessica Farrell. She will not be able to be here tonight, so we congratulate Jessica working in our finance department for the last 10 years.
And the guy's responsible for all the creative, beautiful flyers and everything that we do here at the JCC. He actually didn't make a certificate for himself. And not surprisingly, he's not here this evening, but Steve Evans. Thank you, Steve. The next person I'd like to recognize is Sherry Gaudet. Sherry and I came to work at the JCC around the same time. She a few months ahead of me, and she started out as our executive administrative assistant. And for the very first week or so, every time she left my office, she called me honey or dear. so eventually I said, you got to stop doing that, okay? So, later, she became the office manager, and she quickly proved herself to be adept at absolutely anything we gave her. She took charge of supporting and later managing all of our renovations, our repairs, our construction projects. She worked with contractors, and very little got past her. She also took on overseeing the golf tournament, and she worked for years with Frank and the committee. Today, Sherry is our operations director. She hires and supervises the crew. She manages the workflow at the JCC, Swim Club, and Camp Shalom. And she knows a lot more about plumbing, electrical, pool chemicals, and HVAC than most of us. And Sherry is the glue that holds us together, and we love her, and we're very, very grateful.
Well, we have 2 more. Anna Keith, 15 years. And also David Jacobs, 20 years. Congratulations.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm going to recognize those who, from the Rec and Wellness Department, who are up for their 5-year. Dennis Stewart, he's working in our health spa. So if you're over that way, say hello to him. He's the friendliest person here. Heather Meir, personal trainer. She has been here working as a trainer for 10 years. She is also not here, but I will hold this for her. Arthur Nelson, he's also here 10 years. And Arthur's also at Swim and Tennis, also as as much as he's in our spa, he's also as one of our chefs. So go out there and check out some of his food, and I will take that for Arthur as well. Now I know Brian's here. Brian Rule, our assistant aquatics director, he's here for 10 years. Brian, can you come up here? Everyone give him a congratulations. If anyone wants to be a lifeguard, please see him. We have a training this week. We need all of you. Next up is one of our group fitness instructors, Jeff Dudek. He teaches body pump and Les Mills core. Mike Logan, I'm sure many of you know Mike Logan, and he is one of our personal trainers, and he works on our fitness floor. And last but not least, I would like to tonight recognize Phyllis Ulreich. She has been here for 45 years, but I'd also like to tell you a little bit about her. So Phyllis began working here at the JCC 45 years ago. Phyllis has shared her talents with so many JCC members from young to all ages. Phyllis was a high-low aerobics instructor when she first came and taught swim lessons to children in her early years here. Soon after, she got her certification as a personal trainer and joined the training team. She continued to advance in her fitness career, teaching step aerobics, and got trained in slide. Anyone remember that? And it wasn't long after that she became certified as a Pilates reformer instructor. In addition to all she offered the fitness department and aquatics department, she also was an instrumental part of the poker bike ride, volunteering her time to help make it a success. Presently, Phyllis continues to do what she loves. She has found her niche with Pilates reformer group training. She continues to personal train clients and still is teaching members how to swim. We would like to thank you and recognize you for your contributions and congratulations.
It was 1984. The JCC's preschool had outgrown its original space of 2 little rooms and had begun to expand to other areas in the JCC. Jane Pasternak, along with her co-teacher, Pam Powell, were hired to start a 3-year-old morning, 3-day-a-week classroom in the green room. Today, these children are 40 years old. It's crazy, right? And some of them are sending their kids to our preschool. Jane taught in the preschool for 24 years, during which time she was the PTO coordinator. And in 2008, Jane became the director of the Family Room Parenting Center, formal and informal education, also highly valued by families, not only from among our members, but throughout the entire community. In addition to managing this hub of activity for parents and young children, Jane also worked on special events, such as the Big Wheel Derby. She helped to grow PJ Library with her sidekick, Susan Lentini, sending out tens of thousands of books over the years, and engaging families every month right in their own homes. She worked on bringing programs out into the community in bookstores and parks, making the JCC even more accessible. She also knew that providing social action projects to families would help establish important lifelong commitments to tzedakah and tikkun olam, to charity and to healing the world. With Jane, we provide families with opportunities to celebrate the holidays. With her, we have lit untold numbers of candles and said the traditional blessings, sung the songs, baked tons of challahs, dipped apples in honey, and decorated many sukkahs over the years. Before COVID, Jane led the Under One Roof project, and she truly helped to build community by bringing together 50 organizations, all who contributed their expression of the meaning of welcoming the stranger. What an impact this program had, and we plan to do it again. But Jane's first love has always been the family room and the hundreds of children whose lives she has touched. She leaves behind a legacy of dedication, compassion, creativity, and love. And while this is her official retirement from her full-time position, we are thrilled to announce that we will continue to work together on special projects. You can never really cut ties with the JCC. So Jane, before we bring you up here, I want everyone to hear from a few special people who want to share their thoughts. And first, I'd like to call up to do that Pam Powell, your first co-teacher, Gail Temkin, your first chair of the family room, and Susan Lentini, your partner in crime.
I'm truly happy to be here, though, to share some thoughts about Jane and her 38 years at the JCC. As teachers, we were given the perfect opportunity, a newly opened class for 3-year-olds where all aspects of running the room were on the two of us. We set goals, hopes, and dreams for the individual groups. Our shared goal was for the children to learn and grow within this open play environment. It quickly became clear that we were in sync with each other, and the children were all in it right there with us. The Early Childhood Center, the JCC, and the Greater Hartford community have all benefited from having Jane Pasternak in their lives. And personally, from me to you, I thank you for our time together.
So nothing's more important to me than my 2 girls. They're truly my life and legacy. So for me to entrust them to the care of someone else was really a major step for our family. But Jane, you never hesitated to welcome us with open arms. Jane was so connected with the girls in our family and has always been so committed to wanting to help others that she didn't hesitate to collaborate with me in planning and organizing the Big Wheel Derby year after year after year to raise money for Alyssa's Angel Fund, which was held here at the JCC. Jane, I'm so blessed to have you as part of my life, and the JCC is so lucky to have had you as part of theirs for 38 years. We love you.
I have tissues. So for those of you who have been lucky enough to work with Jane, you probably know that she doesn't seek attention and accolades that she always deserves. She quietly makes a positive difference in all that she does so that the project is completed from soup to nuts. You'll also know that while this part of the evening is just for her, she would probably rather be sitting at the beach. I've been honored to be her sous chef, to be part of the family room and all of the amazing programs that she has developed. And she's actually finally convinced me that I don't actually need to save every single recyclable container and piece of ribbon that I might need for a project one day. She's succeeded at that. Jane's legacy at the JCC is more than the children that she has taught, the parents she's guided, the events and projects that she's planned and implemented, and the support that she's provided to many, but mostly who she is as a person. Maya Angelou wrote, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how they made you feel." And I'm sure everyone remember how good Jane makes you feel.
To present Jane with some flowers is her very first student, one of her very first students, one of those 40-year-olds, Jess Hackney. Come on up, Jess. Jane, come on up. Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Thanks. So now I'm really pleased to introduce the 2 co-chairs of our new development committee, Stephen Greenspan and Josh Feldman.
We're so grateful to our community donor circle who make a real difference. As we head into our new fiscal year, we want to be sure that we are appropriately recognizing the generosity of all of our donors by establishing new giving levels. We have a new logo, which represents the essence of the Community Donor Circle, and as you can see, incorporates the branding of all giving levels. The J is at the center, representing the JCC as the anchor of our community. The concentric circles represent the bright colors of our 6 giving levels to connote that our donors provide vibrancy to the JCC. The circles are depicted to represent movement, as our donors provide the spark to keep the JCC moving ahead.
We are celebrating 10 wonderful years of our Pillar Society. This marks an important opportunity to share in the celebration of those who share so much with our community. Our dedicated pillars have helped the JCC successfully touch the lives of so many people in our community. We are so grateful for their dedication to building and strengthening our community, and we wanted to say happy 10-year anniversary.
JNext. JNext is new to most of you. One of the primary goals of our strategic plan, of the board's strategic plan, was to build a core of new, young, dedicated donors to the JCC. And JNext became that core. It is a way for members 45 and under to contribute to the JCC and to provide energy and ideas to help the JCC community. Just to step off script for a second, any new organization, any new idea requires people to innovate and to drive forward with it. And the innovators behind JNext are Josh and Amanda Katzman. What they've done here is to take an idea and bring it to fruition has been really quite remarkable. We have new donors that I think we'll see for the next decades to come.
While annual support remains crucial, we simultaneously recognize the need to build for our future. We are proud to celebrate our first year of the 1915 Legacy Society and express our profound appreciation to our 21 dedicated charter members. The 1915 Legacy Society is an opportunity for us to create a gift of permanence and to create a pipeline of bequests that will endow and support the JCC for future generations.
Finally, Endow Hartford. We also participated in Endow Hartford 21, a matching gift endowment program initiated by the Zacks Family Foundation and supported by other lead donors who believe in the nonprofit community across Greater Hartford.
We couldn't be more grateful to all of you who support the JCC so generously. Your belief in the work we do, your recognition of the impact we have, fuels all of us to continue to strive to build and serve our community.
Thanks, everybody.
So Annie and I have the honor of doing this next part. By the mid-1950s, the Hartford Jewish Community Center on Asylum Avenue in Hartford had outgrown its building. The Jewish community was moving to the suburbs, and the leadership of the JCC knew they had to make the move as well. They began a serious search for an appropriate parcel of land on which the new JCC could be built. They found a parcel on Bloomfield Avenue, on the northern border of West Hartford and Bloomfield. There was an old firehouse on the property. The problem was that the acreage was too small to accommodate our new building and the required parking. When Archbishop Henry J. O'Brien of the Archdiocese of Hartford heard about the dilemma, he offered the JCC several acres of land from their property adjacent at St. Thomas Seminary. And in November 1961, the land was deeded over to the JCC. This made it possible for the JCC to begin construction on the new building and to move in 1962. Archbishop O'Brien was part of the dedication, celebrating with the leaders of the JCC. And 2 years later, upon his retirement, the JCC Board of Directors honored the Archbishop and passed a resolution commending him for his respect for the church and the entire community, and thanking him for his generosity to the JCC. So tonight, 60 years later, we express our gratitude to and reaffirm our friendship with our friends at the Archdiocese. Here with us this evening, representing the Archdiocese, is the Most Reverend Peter A. Razaza, Auxiliary Bishop Emeritus and loyal JCC member. And coincidentally, Bishop Peter was ordained in 1961, the same year the church deeded the land to the JCC. So when we were doing our renovations in the building, all the plaques got taken down, and the plaque that we had up for decades for the Archdiocese disappeared. Bishop Peter made sure I knew that. The plaque was missing. Yes, he let me know that for several years until finally we realized it's the 60th anniversary. And so today, when you go down to the, when you go down to the cafe area, you will see a new plaque that reads, "Dedicated with friendship and gratitude to the Most Reverend Henry J. O'Brien and the Archdiocese of Hartford for the gift of land for the new JCC in 1961. Bishop Peter, could you come up? So Annie's going to tell you a little bit about Bishop Peter, but we want you to know our beloved friend, and on the occasion of your 60th year since your ordination, we present you with this tzedakah box, a symbol of our generous friendship and respect for you.
Script real quick because David didn't actually give me a script in advance. So I just, the part that he missed was that there was a chance meeting in the hallway because Bishop Peter comes here and swims quite frequently, and I was introducing them to one another, and he reminded David that we still haven't done anything to find the plaque, and he wanted to make sure, because he loves the JCC, and he's such a delight. We're so happy to have him here. He's also, I actually served with him at St. Timothy's, so we have a personal friendship. So I'm so pleased to have you here tonight, and you can say a few words for us?
Yes.
Okay.
Careful, he steps behind you.
So I say to you what Henry VIII said to all his wives, I shall not keep you long. It's a joy to be with you. Archbishop Blair would have been here, but he's away at a bishop's meeting in San Diego. So I'm honored that he asked me to represent him. Now, Archbishop O'Brien, he lived actually next door at St. Thomas Seminary in a couple of rooms there. He was a very compassionate man. He was an orphan. His parents died when he was 14, and he was raised by his brother. But then he went away to the seminary and was educated ultimately in Louvain, Belgium, one of the oldest universities in the world. Now, this is the story that was going around the diocese when the delegation and several of his advisors, so they rolled out their plans. They promised to pay market value or whatever he wanted, but he said to them, I'm not going to sell it to you. Of course, they were dejected, and they tried again. And at the third try, he said, I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm going to give it to you. Started coming here in the 60s when I taught at St. Thomas Seminary until I moved into the inner city in Hartford to work with Spanish-speaking people. So I speak for Archbishop Blair in offering our assistance in any way the Jewish community deems it helpful, and I say the same for myself. So I conclude with a verse from Psalm 18. You, O Lord, are my lamp, my God who lightens my darkness. With you I can break through any barrier. With my God I can scale any wall. Thank you.
This is the highlight of the evening, getting to introduce the Hoffmans, the entire front row.
Yep. Tonight we're celebrating one family's generosity and dedication to the Mandell JCC. Teddy and I are honored to be here today as we acknowledge this family that has consistently dedicated their time, energy, and philanthropy to making a difference in our JCC and our entire community. Jeffrey has served as president and chairman of the board of this Mandell JCC. And now his son Matt is currently a board member and an officer. So from generation to generation. 8 years ago, our community, under the leadership of the Greater Hartford Jewish Federation and the Hartford Jewish Community Foundation, launched the Aim High campaign with the goal of building the endowments of our Hartford area's communities and institutions, essential to our health and the vibrancy of the Jewish community's future. The Mandell JCC proudly participated along with 27 partners in this effort. Leading this unprecedented effort to benefit the JCC was the Hoffman family. They had already contributed major gifts to the 21st Century Capital campaign with the Hoffman Fieldhouse, dedicated to the honor of their parents, Burton and Phyllis. The Hoffman family is one of the founding members of the Pillar Society. And we won't forget the years of the raffle and the grand prize from Hoffman Automotive Group. None of this today, Phyllis, none of this would have been possible without your encouragement, your teaching, and above all, your love of the family. And we all thank you for this. The matriarch of the Hoffman family, Phyllis Hoffman.
Jeffrey and I have been best friends for a very long time. I have admired Jeffrey's and the entire family's generosity as it relates to the Jewish community. But more importantly, I've admired their time commitment to the Jewish organizations. Jeffrey and Bradley have been involved in the Hebrew Home, the Jewish Community Center, the Federation, Bethel, just to name a few of the Jewish organizations. In fact, this week alone, I participated in a very small minor event, which is their annual golf tournament. And when you talk about generation to generation, the entire company is involved in this event. It's been going on for 24 years, and Matt's and Monica's daughters are right out there soliciting funds from the participants. They announced this week last year that they provided over $400,000 to a variety of community organizations. The Hoffman family, as far as I'm concerned, as far as we're concerned, and we've known them for a long time, they're warm, friendly, and enthusiastic. Even you, Brad. They will always try and be helpful. If you ever have a problem, just see Jeffrey and Bradley. From my perspective, they are fun to be with, and they are never boring. It's our honor tonight to introduce our friends, Bradley and Jeffrey Hoffman.
Hi, Ma. We grew up in West Hartford, right around the corner from here, not too far. And in the winter, we didn't really have anything to do. There was only so much you could do inside at that age. And then there was my mom. She said, you know, why don't we go over to the JCC with your friends? So we came here every day. She would drive us over with my friends. We'd play basketball in the gym. And pretty much the only other thing there was to do back then in the winter was the movies. So I put the two and I connected them in my head as I was coming over here tonight and thinking about what an impact our mom had in our lives. And she loved the movies from a very young age. That's pretty much all they did. They went to the movies every week. And our mom, if she didn't decide on raising a family, I think she probably would have been a movie star. I truly believe that. So when we were approached on the idea from with David and some people from the JCC about naming the film festival, which of course is an enormous deal, not only for the JCC, but for the community as well, it was sort of a no-brainer. It connected all the dots. And needless to say, our mom, because she is the person, she is selfless, didn't want any recognition whatsoever. But she deserves all the recognition in the world for not only raising 3 normal sons.
Well, one normal.
2 out of 3, we just don't know which 2. But she really gave us all the values that we believe in today and that we embrace and support. The JCC is the type of place that we love and embrace. And our family, it's not our family's motto, but we sort of adopted. I'll close with this and just say, we've always believed in living well, laughing often, and loving much. And I think that's what the JCC does for all of you, for the community, and what they've done for our family. And we'll be here for generations to come. We got some of our folks here tonight and a generation behind them. And it's not going to stop with the Hoffmans. So thank you for what you do for us.
Our mom has always been a shining light in all of our lives. She continues to be so thoughtful, considerate, and good-hearted. Always has everybody's interests always before her own. So important to everyone in the family. She's an avid reader. Also, she loves movies. I mean, boy, our mother knows movies since she was a little girl to where she is today, and loves movies, knows movies, and that's why this is so exciting and apropos to name the film festival in honor of our mom. Our mom, over the years, has given so much to our community, the greater Hartford community and abroad. She's done a lot of work with arts organizations, school boards, the American Jewish Committee, the Jewish Federation, and many, many more organizations. Our mom was very, very proud to be honored by the NCCJ in 2003. And in her closing remarks, in her acceptance speech, our mom quoted a saying that always appealed to her. What I spent, I wasted. What I saved, I lost. What I gave away, I kept. Congratulations, Mom, on your honor tonight. Love you.
We are getting toward the end of this. I know you're disappointed. There is a treat at the end for everyone. Don't worry, there is a treat. Right now we get to kind of the formal business of the meeting. And that is the nominating committee report and elections. The Mandell JCC Board of Directors is comprised of dedicated and generous men and women who individually and collectively provide leadership and support to the staff and to the membership. This has never been as significant and apparent as it has been during the past 2 years as we faced and met the challenges of the pandemic. I am pleased to announce someone who will be familiar to all of you, as she's been up here twice already tonight, past president of the Mandell JCC, Gail Temkin, to take you through the elections.
I am here standing in for Peter Fishman, who couldn't be with us. The nominating committee is responsible for presenting a slate of nominees to stand for election to the Board of Directors each year at the annual meeting. We thank these members for their service to the JCC and wish them all the best. Kathy Binder, Michael Kroll, Fran Landy, Scott Margolis, Lisa Rowland, and Rachel Schilberg. Nominated for new terms on the board are Jessica Gagnon, Tracy Gellis, Jesse Samuels, David Shapiro, and our team representative, Simon Levy. Nominating to continue serving on the board are John Henry Decker, Tammy Levine, Irene O'Connor, Ian Poulin, Debbie Schmerling, Ronit Shoham, Rebecca Stewart, and Ruth Ann Wine. Nominated for terms as officers are President Bradford Drazen, Chair of the Board Peter Fishman, First Vice President Stephen Greenspan, Vice Presidents Merrill Braunstein, Matthew Hoffman, Robert Krug, Karen Tuvin, Treasurer Josh Feldman, Secretary Debbie Melman, Assistant Treasurer Jeff Asia. Our bylaws state that the members of the JCC vote for the board nominees at the annual meeting. Is there a motion that we accept the slate of nominees? So moved. Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The slate has been elected. We thank all of you for giving your time, your talent, and resources as leaders of the Mandell JCC. Whether you're continuing for additional terms, taking on new roles, or joining the board for the first time, I hope you'll find your board service to be meaningful and satisfying. The years ahead of us will definitely continue to be different. They will be challenging, and they will be impactful. Thank you for being part of our leadership journey.
I did not approve that. Definitely not. So we're almost done. It's time for the so-called President's Report. And apparently I've been elected to another year as president. So thank you for that. We've heard a lot about these last couple of years, and the term of the president is 2 consecutive one-year terms. So my role tonight is to talk about this past year. And in his groundbreaking Broadway musical Rent, Jonathan Larson posed the question about how do you measure a year? 525,600 minutes. Well, these past 2 years have been perhaps the most unusual in the history of the Mandell JCC. My predecessor, Peter Fishman, served the bulk of his term as president during the darkest, most difficult time of the pandemic. Much of our engagement was virtual, and even when we reopened our doors, far sooner and more safely and successfully than anyone might have imagined, many things that we had taken for granted simply were not possible. In June of 21, a year ago when I was elected president at the last annual meeting, we all shared high hopes about the opportunity to reconnect with our community and to capitalize on the myriad new ways we had found to engage online while returning to the face-to-face interactions that have long been at the center of the JCC community. I am so pleased to stand here before you today to highlight a long list of achievements during the past 12 months and to do so in this wonderful room full of people. So, Larson asked, how do you measure a year? At the Mandell JCC, the increments that we use to mark time are impact and engagement, celebrating successes and learning from times when we fall short, facing challenges and seeking opportunities, reaffirming old connections and making new ones. At the Mandell JCC, we measure a year through our children. JCC kids are back participating in dance classes, youth theater, karate, swim lessons, swim team, and basketball. Our West Hartford preschool is close to our pre-pandemic numbers, and the school at Kol Haverim in Glastonbury continues to grow. We're approaching the start of our camp season now, with numbers that exceed our numbers from 2019, the last pre-pandemic year. That is a good thing. At the Mandell JCC, we measure a year through our seniors, who continue to be engaged online in discussion groups and classes in a remarkable collaboration of JCCs. Classes and programs are being shared across the US and Canada. At the Mandell JCC, we measure a year through the arts. Our gallery has hosted several wonderful exhibitions, including a student exhibit from CREC and the Abraham exhibition, I hope some of you saw it, which featured the story of Abraham through the eyes of 3 artists, one of 3 different faiths, one Christian, one Jewish, one Muslim. We partnered with UConn, the School of Puppetry, to present Wayang Esther, a live production written for gamelan orchestra, voice, and shadow puppets in the Indonesian tradition. And while in the midst of the pandemic, our film festival returned to live in-person screenings along with the continued virtual options. At the Mandell JCC, we measure a year through health and wellness. We are still in the process of building back our membership, but nearly 1,000 members are coming in through the JCC's doors every week, with the usage increasing steadily. Our virtual presence is strong, more than 20 exercise classes each and every week. And we are the first JCC in North America to sign on with WELD, which is a physician referral-based wellness program aimed at patients with general health and wellness needs. Programming for more specific health concerns will be added soon with the support of our brand new Medical Wellness Advisory Board. At the Mandell JCC, we measure a year through community building and Tikkun Olam. We participated in the Butterfly Project, a worldwide effort for communities to paint 1.5 million ceramic butterflies, one for each child who perished in the Holocaust. Working with local volunteer programs, we are welcoming individuals and families from among the Afghan refugees who have settled in our community. And in response to greater economic challenges, we are providing more financial aid to more families than ever for summer camp. At the Mandell JCC, we measure a year through philanthropy. Our annual campaign grew to its highest level in history thanks to the support of hundreds of generous members and friends, including many of you who are here tonight. And thanks to the generosity of the Mandell Bronstein family, we have new tennis courts and a new ropes course, challenge course, at Camp Shalom. A new HVAC system, hold on. A new HVAC system in the theater wing, security upgrades in the preschool, a community wellness director, and a new 9-hole putting course at the swim and tennis club. Andy, we are truly grateful for your generosity and friendship. Andy and Joyce, thank you so much. At the Mandell JCC, we measure a year through celebrating our history and embracing our future. We dedicated our new president's courtyard to honor the men and women who have served as leaders of our board. And through a grant from the Fector Entrepreneurial Fund, we kicked off the new Welcome to the Neighborhood campaign, with board members delivering welcome bags to individuals, couples, and families who've recently moved to our community. None of these accomplishments over the past year would have been possible without the hard work and commitment of the staff and the board. David, Annie, Kim, and Karen have served a combined 105 years here at the JCC. Their leadership and their amazing teams, from the longest tenured senior staff member to the youngest part-timers, are absolutely vital to our success and make the JCC a place where everyone is welcome. My fellow members of the board, many of you who are here tonight, give generously of their time, their talent, and their treasure for the benefit of this agency and the entire community. They are our most ardent supporters and engaged volunteers, providing valuable guidance to help steward our JCC. So, how do you measure a year? Larson had one other suggestion. 525,600 moments so dear. Mandell JCC moments that we strive to create for our children, for all of our members, and our entire community. Thank you. So thank you all for coming to the 107th annual meeting of the Mandell JCC. The 108th will be right here 1 year from tonight. And there's a reception downstairs in the President's Courtyard, so stick around for a little nosh.